What's happening, everyone? TomGorian here, and welcome to the return of the Haas to Glory Drive Career Mode on F1 23. We are officially in the second season of this Haas, trying to win the Wild Drivers Championship with the MoneyGram Formula 1 team. This is the aftermath of winning the World Championship in Abu Dhabi, so we're in the season of the Haas to Glory. Check out the playlist in the video link and also in the annotations and the end chapters, and also check out the last couple of videos of the Haas to Glory, including a dramatic three-way title fight in Abu Dhabi. First of all, I want to say a massive thank you for all the support of the last series, and so ever since the first episode we've just been absolutely mental with the views and the likes, and hopefully we can continue that. As you can see, here's all the drivers, and not really anything's changed. The only drivers that have really changed is really Alex Albon to Aston Martin and Liam Lawson to Williams. Apart from that, not really anyone has changed. The only driver that will be changed though is Nick De Vries, because Daniel Ricciardo will be filling that void come August 29th. Here is the season calendar. I've went for a more traditional calendar this year. As you can see, we start the season at Australia, China, Miami, Imola, Monaco, Spain, Silverstone. We return to France and Hungary before we go to Belgium, Italy, Qatar's returning, Texas is returning, and then we finish the season at Brazil and also the return of Portimao for the Portuguese Grand Prix. So as you can see, all three of the tracks that we're not racing at in the real life season, we are going to be racing at for this season. So if you like what you see, hit the like button and also subscribe. Can we get to 700 subscribers before the end of September? That I would be massively appreciative of that feat, because the support has been unbelievable, and let's see if we can try and keep the momentum going. Right, let's officially kick off this episode. So obviously there was a regulation change for Season 2, and we lost a couple of the upgrades that we gained during last season. We lost the Halo upgrade, which was a rear upgrade, a rear downforce upgrade, and we lost, I think, 2 chassis upgrades. So we're going to try and get those back. But as far as the pecking order, as you can see, we are the 4th best team, and we've slightly lost out in the upgrade race, thanks to McLaren and their upgrades. But yeah, as you can see, we've got 955 resource points, and we're just trying to see where we can spend them. We're going to try and do some durability upgrades with these upgrades. So we don't really know how good our car is as far as the pace is concerned, but as you can see, our downforce upgrade has came right before this race, and as you can see, the forward floor fences, that was one of the front downforce upgrades that we lost, so we've got that back for this weekend. But you'll see in this video that as far as front downforce is concerned, we don't really need front downforce anymore as far as the direction for our upgrades and where we need to take our upgrades. We still need to focus on the chassis. As you can see, we've got 2 major chassis upgrades and obviously 1 major drag reduction in the side pod profile upgrade still to do, and that will take us officially ahead of Aston Martin and Red Bull, and hopefully we can get that before the Chinese Grand Prix in the next couple of races. So without further ado, let's get Season 2 underway. It's time to head to the race weekend. So let's get qualifying underway. Now, one of the things I've done for this season is concerned is I've upped the difficulty to 105. So at the end of last season I was on 104, but every time we enter a new season on the channel, I up the difficulty by 1 to 105, and also I've changed damage to standard. So that means now I can get floor damage if it's necessary. Right, let's talk about the story of qualifying, because qualifying was actually weird. So we do the first lap and we do a 1 minute 17.2, which is right now P6, but as we enter the second lap, as you can see with P11, as we enter the final actual corner. And this lap hasn't been good, and we only gained time literally at the end. We gained 2 temps at the end, but as you can see across the line we go. We literally do a 16.98 flat, which puts us in P7 for the race. So final lap qualifying here in Melbourne, Australia, and we are the last to start a lap. Turn 1, literally 70 meters, and the car just really gets unbalanced throughout turn 1. As we enter turn 3, brake at the 100-meter board. We slightly missed the apex there, and we have a bit of understeer, and it's clear that we still have some balance issues when it comes to just braking and just when the car turns into slow corners. The chassis is still not good enough as we enter this flat out section of the track, and we've actually gained a 10th on this lap, but the overpowered nature of the AI around this circuit is absolutely ridiculous, to the point where I couldn't really compete against the Ferraris, as Carlos Sainz does a 15.9. That's a whole second, literally quicker than us. So we're going to have to try and pull something out the bag if we want to try and do something miraculous in qualifying. We're sliding out of that corner into 4th gear, and as you can see on the Delta, we're not really gaining any time. And this hasn't been a good lap as we enter the final corner. We go so wide, and we've lost all of the time that we've gained. And this corner here, we just haven't really been able to do anything. And across the line, we're not even going to improve by much, by 4 milliseconds. And we're going to be P16. That's a disaster for our first race of Season 2 of the Haas to Glory. And, yeah, this season has just got a whole lot more harder. I thought we might have been in the top 5 at least, but as you can see, look at that. 9 temps away from Carlos Sainz. And we're even behind our teammates. We've got some work to do.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. It's a combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners, making it a very tricky track when it comes to overtaking. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Leclerc, Verstappen, Albon, Hamilton, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Bottas, Ocon, Joe, Magnussen, Thomas, Tsunoda, Gasly, Liam Lawson, Sargent, and Nick de Vries. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Natalie Pinkham is with me today as we get another year of Formula One underway.
Well, it's clear, very clear conditions, and that makes it clear for the drivers because they don't have to worry and have that added distraction of fickle weather. They can concentrate on the driving and not everything else around them.
So this road just got more harder as far as trying to win a championship with the Haas team. We are starting in P15 because Pierre Gasly got a penalty from, guessing, illegal blocking in qualifying. So I guess that's a positive, but I mean, we're the 4th quickest team, and yet we're qualifying P15 and P16 even on 105 difficulty. And I do think it's quite clear that the higher the difficulty you go on F123, the more unbalanced the AI will be. Because I guarantee you, the AI will not be like this come China and Miami, and even Imola and Spain in the next couple of races. So that's one problem I'm having with the AI as far as the pace is concerned from track to track. It's just completely unbalanced. But as far as the strategy is concerned, it's supposed to be a one-stop. From the hards to the mediums, so we're going to do the mediums to the hards today, but we don't know as far as the strategy is concerned, because obviously we don't know what upgrades have been lost with the AI as far as either aero upgrades or chassis upgrades or tyre weight upgrades. So let's see if we can try and capture some magic.
The formation lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres. So as all the cars reform the grid, the drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring the planned strategies are all in place.
So here we go then, the start of a new season is always a very nervous time in Formula 1, just simply because this is the first time that the cars haven't been running properly since winter testing. And you've got all this expectation, especially for us. We were competing for the World Championship last year, and now we can't even get into the top 10. But honestly, I'm hoping we can score points in the first race of the season, but last season we just couldn't really do anything. But here we go. Are you ready for the Haas to Glory for 5 red lights? Lights out in Melbourne, and away we go for Season 2 of the Haas to Glory. Magnussen gets a good start, Ocon doesn't, and so does Guan Yu as we head towards Turn 1. We're going to try and take it easy. We're going to try and go to the middle of the road. We're going to go around the outside of Kevin Magnussen and also Bottas. Oscar Piastri and George Russell are holding up the pack as we head towards Turn 3, and we've already lost a position to Lance Stroll in the overpowered Aston Martin as we dive down the inside of both George Russell and Lance Stroll. Russell turns on us like it's F122. I didn't know I was playing F122. That looked very, very familiar towards an F122 AI overtake where you overtake them and they just turn in on you and they give you no acknowledgement of room whatsoever. But now heading in towards our strongest part of this racetrack, the massive straight, and as you can see, Lance Stroll in that overpowered Aston Martin. That's a joke. That's a complete joke how we're just getting out-dragged like that. I mean, we're not even running the high wings. We're running around about 21, like 19 wings, and the Aston Martin is still out-dragging us on that straight. So, as we're heading towards the second lap, as you can see, George Russell is fighting with Oscar Piastri for eighth. No, the two Mercedes going side by side, and Hamilton retains position. We almost make contact there with George Russell, with Lance Stroll, as Stroll tries to go around the outside of George Russell in towards Turn 3. We're just trying to be calm as we actually see an opening, and we're going to go down the inside of George Russell in this race for P10 here in the Australian Grand Prix. And as you can see, Hamilton is losing time to Oscar Piastri and the two McLarens as well. And I think Perez is leading, and then it's Norris, and then it's Leclerc. I don't even know who's the top 5 is. Stroll tries to go down the inside of Lewis Hamilton, and we're going to try and get an opening. As we head towards Turn 2, we actually make the move, but as you can see once again, just the Aston Martin has so much more straight line speed compared to us. As we head towards Turn 3, we hold it around the outside, we lose the back end just a little bit, and we gain position. Green flag's running, I believe that's an Alpine, as we're going to overtake Lewis Hamilton now, going around the outside in towards the chicane, and we get the move done right before the chicane. That puts us into P8. We lose the back end there just again. And this race, I have to be honest, as again we lose the rear end, the one thing that I will say we have to do for this season, we have to focus on 2 departments. We have to focus on the chassis balance as far as just the understeer of the car in braking and out of corners. And we also have to focus on the rear downforce, because there was a lot of times where I was just losing the back end, and I think I know why the AI are just so overpowered at tracks like this. It's simply because of the rear downforce and the traction that we can get. Speaking of traction, we're going to go around the outside of both Lance Stroll and Lewis Hamilton on the chicane. Brilliant move by us there. 2 cars in one around the outside into the chicane. That's brilliant. Brilliant overtaking there by us. But as you can see, look at the gap between myself and Oscar Piastri and Alex Albon. As you can see, 6 seconds already. Not even 7 laps in. And we're just losing time to Lance Stroll because we're battling them too hard. And yeah, just simply put, we are really, really slow compared to the cars we're supposed to be competing against in this Season 2 of the Haas to Glory. And this season has really, really just been a challenge for us already. And as you can see, there's the tyre selections. Carlos Sainz has stopped. He's going for a soft medium. He's doing 2 stops at least. So I don't know at this stage. I don't know what the best strategy is. I don't know if it's a 1 stop from mediums to hards, or if it's 2 stop, and maybe I should go maybe double medium and then softs. However, if I do that, then I will have to use a used set of soft tyres simply because I don't have any new ones. However, at lap 12, we're going to come in for our first pit stop of the race. Hopefully, first pit stop of the new season, and hopefully my pit crew can be ready as we do a 2.2 estimated stop time. Turning optimal, and let's see if we can get on time. 2.3 seconds, which is a decent stop there, but as you can see, we are going to be in P14. Nope. P50 now, because Nick de Vries has overtaken us, and he's also overtaken Lance Stroll, but because the Aston Martin is so quick, Lance Stroll has absolutely devoured him. And as you can see, we are also going to devour Nick de Vries as we head towards turn 5, and we get the move done. And yeah, Nick de Vries, yeah, he's not had a good season so far. He didn't have a good 2023 season, and it looks like it's going to be the same fortunes for good old Nicky boy. So, lap 15, beginning of lap 15, as you can see, George Russell, Valtteri Bottas, Pierre Gasly have all stopped, and we are coming out ahead of them. And as you can see, they've won hard tyres, so they are going to do a 1 stop. And as you can see right now, here is the strategy. As you can see, Sainz leads, Norris went soft medium, Perez went medium hard, Verstappen has went soft medium, Leclerc went medium hard. And as you can see, it's just a mix up between soft medium, medium hard, and as you can see, there's us with a double medium stint. The only way that our strategy is going to work, and we're doing the same strategy as Carlos Sainz, the only difference is he's doing double soft, we're doing double medium. So the only way that this strategy is going to work is if we have a safety car in this race, and to be honest, the safety car is quite frequent in this year's game. So hopefully, we can get a safety car between laps 17 and 22, because that's where we're supposed to stop. But now you're going to see some of the lap times that we're going to do, as Carlos Sainz comes out of the pit lane, and as you can see, he's ahead of us. So we can't undercut Carlos Sainz in this race, which is a bit of a shame. But for some reason, Ferrari have gained a lot of pace over the winter. And as you can see, that lap we did a 21.125, and we were doing around about 21.1s, 20.8s in the last couple of laps. But yeah, as you can see, round about now, Russell started having issues, and we were pretty much gaining pace on him. But at the same time, Magnussen was gaining on us. And as you can see, lap 22, we are now scheduled to box for the soft tyres, and it doesn't look like a safety car is going to come out here in Melbourne. And by the time we enter the chicane on lap 22, Kevin Magnussen, our teammate, is all over us. So I'm kind of thinking, well, I'm hoping that he has better race pace, so we're going to let him by. No point to try and hold him up, because if we do, we're just going to lose time to George Russell and also Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo, which is what we don't want. So now we're going to come to lap 26 and the beginning of lap 27 for our second stop, and we're going to go on to the used soft tyres. Unfortunately, it hasn't been a good race for us, and we started P15 and we've worked our way back up to the lower ends of the top 10. But we've absolutely shown no pace at all. So hopefully we can try and contend for a fastest lap of the race, which will give us 1 point. And as you can see, we have joined in P14, and the cars ahead are only down the road. So we've got 3 laps to go. Let's see if we can try and salvage a P11, at least in this race. And then we can work our way from there. First of all is Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri on the mediums, and we devour him easily as we enter the chicane. And we're going to try and go for a fast lap here, and let's see what we can do. And so far, it's not looking good. We've got 2 green sectors, as we're going to try and send it on Logan Sargent in the Williams. That's a long way back as we clip the apex right there, and that is a clean as you like overtake as we head towards the final chicane here. And let's see if we can try and get a fast lap attempt here on the board. Actually, that's Russell and Valtteri Bottas. So looks like points might actually be on offer anyway. As we come across the line, we're going to do a 19.3, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough, so we're not going to get the fast lap. of this race. So unless we can try and overtake Valtteri Bottas and George Russell, we're not going to score points in this Australian Grand Prix. So now we have to send it on George Russell, and there we go. We got down the inside of George Russell, and he's still holding it, and we have overtaken George Russell here in Melbourne. That's 11th place. Right, now it's time for the dramatic music, because Valtteri Bottas is next. Can we somehow overtake him, even though on fresher tyres slightly, he's on harder tyres? And as you can see, we've got the DRS as Sergio Perez wins the Australian Grand Prix. Speaking of Australia, here we go, and there it is. We are into the points here in Melbourne. It's P10 for us, but as long as we can hold on in this result, we should finish in the top 10, as Magnussen is going to finish in P8 and Piastri will finish in P9. But as long as we can hold on for the final paint point position, that is all that matters. It hasn't been a good weekend for us. We qualified in 16th, we started the race in 15th, and we're going to finish this race in P10. We're going to still score points, but it's not what we deserve, and we were simply not good enough.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Another superb Australian Grand Prix comes to an end then, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Quite simply, a driver is nothing without the team behind them. So, a deserved winner, but we do have to give a shout out to the team in the pit lane and back at the factory. Very much a collaborative process.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sports that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
So there it is, the first race of the 2024 season goes to Sergio Perez in the Red Bull. Quite a shock result, considering the fact that, you know, it's usually Max that wins these races, but Perez takes the victory over Lando Norris and also Max Verstappen. And it's clear that McLaren have taken one step further in pre-season compared to us. We've taken 2 steps backwards compared to McLaren and Ferrari, and also Aston Martin and Red Bull as well. But yeah, not good for the first race of the season. As you can see, look at Albon, 18.5, and our best lap time was 19.3. But yeah, Perez, Norris, Verstappen, Albon in 4th, Leclerc, Stroll, and Sainz. Sainz did a 2-stop, and that didn't work for him. He was leading. And yeah, we should have followed the strategy. We should have followed the pit lane. We should have done the 1-stop from the mediums to the hards. That would have saved us some time. And we could have probably maybe finished around about 7th or 6th if we didn't do the 2nd stop. But that is that for the first episode of Season 2 of the F1 23 Haas to Glory. And we've got a lot of work to do if we want to try and catch the McLarens and the Red Bulls and also the Aston Martins in the next couple of races. China is the next race. We haven't raced on China yet, so looking forward to trying to race on China, but knowing this game the AI will be quite unbalanced again. But at least we scored a double points finish, so that's all that matters for this race. But thank you guys for watching another episode of the Haas to Glory. The support has been mental. Can we get to 700 subscribers? I would be massively appreciated for that. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video in a bit.